Start. 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Center Discovery, returning to the space station payload way to mission. Well,
welcome to the Commonlaw Court Wales radio show. A show basically on music this evening. We have singer-songwriter Johnny Leyson. How are you feeling this evening, John?
Alright, fine.
Music, John. What's it mean to you? What's it all about, and what are the motivations?
To carry on what I started when I was a kid, really.
You've been playing for a long time, have you?
Yeah. Well, even before I played, I wanted to play. I think it's just music passion, from a young age, really.
Yeah, so how do you find the music business in general? I mean, I know you've been about the block a bit musically, but just give our listeners a general feel for, your musical inspirations, for want of a better way to put it, mate.
Yeah, I think, there's moments in my life, which, certain Glastonbury's and certain gigs which really do change your life, and make you think differently about, sort of how music is so integral in everybody's life, really, and to create that is a joy, to be honest.
Yeah, well...
Not always, mate.
No, but talking about creative, that little intro we played then, coming in with the countdown to the shuttle, that's one of your pieces, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's,
what's the name of that, John?
Background music. Basically, I wanted a song sounding a bit like, she was floating in space, really. Really like science, and really like science fiction, to be honest with you.
I see.
So, I like to involve that in my music sometimes. And delay pedals and all that.
Basically, we're going to be on a chilled out chat with John this evening about his musical influences, and also the state of music as it is today, how it's been manipulated by large media corporations and used how to sway, public opinion and to start trends and things within society as a whole. I mean, you could say music has guided society, especially the young who are very influenced by it. I'm just going to play a track of Johnny's. I hope you enjoy this one. I hope it comes so clear for everyone.
I remember the snow that used to glow outside my window. It used to fall like flakes of new light.
song created by Johnny Leyshon, Always in Love with the Moon. What was behind that one, John?
I think it's sort of like a lustful relationship or whatever. Like, you know, it's a stereotypical thing. But the girl, in question, I won't mention her name, but you know, shows like going out and all that, and more of a staying sort of like watch a film or whatever person, like, you know what I mean? And it was a bit difficult. The truth of the matter is, like, you know what I mean, it was just inspired by my time in Ireland, really, which I spent with my grandparents and it gave me like time to, you know, write good few tracks, like, you know, because one thing we got in Ireland is a lot of time, like. Yeah,
it's a nice place.
Yeah.
So, you're from Wales, John?
Yep.
Where exactly in Wales are you from, mate?
I range from Port Talbot. I do. Absolutely beautiful area. It gets, a bad rap, in the UK because of the industry here, including the steelworks. But I think I'm all behind, like, you know, the town's sort of like heritage. You know, absolutely fantastic people here, and very welcoming town. I've been around a lot of places, you know, and they take a bit of extra time, like, you know, to do a bit of politeness in this town, you know, and that's not found around the world in a lot of places.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm familiar with Port Talbot myself.
Yeah.
That's not the same steelworks, by the way, that the unions had the decisive vote in putting Kinnet's boy in, who need to be shafted for their pension shortly after the.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, you know what I mean? Port Talbot is full of like corruption. To be honest, you know, we could go on for days about, like, you know, how there's been corruption in our council, taking, you know, serious liberties from the local community here in Port Talbot. I suppose it happens all over the world, like, but when it happens on your doorstep, you want to take notice.
Music, Johnny, in the eyes of society is a primary thing that goes back, well, you know, since communities originated. I mean, music truly is a form of communication. What do you think?
Well, I think the music is, you know, especially, you know, in Wales, it is a form of tradition. You know, for years people have sung in Welsh churches, and obviously the many minds within Wales as well. Many people singing down the minds to, like, you know, keep their spirits high in such a dark place. But I think, you know, like, whenever, you know, I sort of play music to somebody or whatever, or, you know, it's an unexplainable thing.
Well, there's one thing about, as you quite rightly pointed out, music is fantastic for creating emotions.
Yeah.
You know, to get a good morale going, as you quite rightly said, that even in the darkest places of the coal mines, I mean, it would certainly keep morale going, and this is echoed through all kinds of forms of manual labour and hard work, where people are able to escape into this magical world of music. Stories of trench warfare where men, it would basically keep them going, even in chain gangs.
Yeah.
There's a simple example of how, you know, you could be in chained or on the cotton plantation, basically a slave, and yet you're able to create this magical music. I mean, it truly is a unique medium. So when you talk about reggae, which, you know, comes from a certain culture, Jamaican Rastafari culture, and artists like Bob Marley and Gregory Isaacs and the Toots, and the list goes on and on. But these boys were very much, this music was born out of poverty, and there's no getting away from it, is it? I mean, it's very much.
It was born out of pain as well, you know, suppression, like, you know, especially blues movement, you know, in America, like, definitely that was born out of, like, total that pain, really, like, you know, and I don't think the actual, like, you know, sort of layman, blue-collar American could deal with it, like, you know, so they needed somebody like Elvis to come along and sort of, like, you know, they would buy the music, and, like, I mean, you know, America had amazing bands, Swaffer, like, you know what I mean, but still the Beatles became famous because they were a different colour. But, like, not saying the Beatles ain't, you know, amazing. They're absolutely fantastic, like, you know,
yeah.
You know, but you know, you can see where, like, you know, sort of like in the darkest moments of, like, say, like a whole race being suppressed, music will lift the spirits, like, you know, and sort of like, you know, let them deal with their pain that day. Like.
Yeah.
Gospel as well is a big thing. Like, gospel is one of my favourite types of music, you know. So.
Now we're on about it. I mean, music is primarily a foundation of the working class people within communities all over the world. We mentioned the coal miners, which would be directly related to the male voice choirs.
Yeah.
We looked at the cotton fields, how that church music arrived. It is basically a real important part of the community. Now, as times have moved on and these big corporations have got involved, the music has been taken away from that grassroots. The grassroots have been ripped out, I think, John. I mean, you've got to kowtow to the likes of these big corporations now to be able to get heard. I mean, what's your views on the way music has not only evolved to where we are now, but how it's been manipulated also?
The fact that the gap has been bridged, you know, like you know, people think like, you know, certain programs, talent programs on TV, actually a good thing, like, you know, but what they do is actually mask true talent, like, you know what I mean? These people are under pressure, like some of the best musicians in the world, like, you know what I mean, that have ever lived, like, you know what I mean? We're very private people, like, you know what I mean? Very shy, like, you know what I mean? If you mention, like, you know, loads of shy musicians that I know even, like, you know, so to go on, like, you know, a big TV program, like, you know what I mean, where they're being judged by somebody who doesn't play music is a very fake thing, really.
Well, I got a butt in there, so I was going to interrupt you, John. But when you're talking on the likes of X Factor and things like this, where musicians and artists are forced to kowtow and bow to the likes of Simon Cowell, who, by the way, some of the listeners may not know, paid the paedophile Jonathan King $50,000 for his bail money, and also his main man was Max Clifford as well. So this Simon Cowell character is one creepy kind of guy. I mean, if he's bailing out paedophiles and his best mate is Max Clifford, I mean, these are the type of people that are running the music industry.
I think it's been watered down, though, you know.
Yeah.
Like compared to, like, you know, actually true, like, musicians that have struggled in their life, like coming up, like, you know what I mean. You know, it stopped them sort of, like, you know, progressing. I'm not mentioning anybody in particular, but I can see how, like, you know, it's sort of like there seems to be a pigeonhole for everything these days. Like, do you know what I mean? Or you're a singer, or go on the X Factor, like, do you know what I mean? Or you're a juggler, like, I'll go on Britain's Got Talent or whatever, like. When at the end of the day, everybody's unique. Like, you know, everybody's got the ability to actually, you know, do music, you know, if they want to. Yeah. You know, and the problem is it's been taken away from most people because they don't see it as a career choice anymore. Because, like, oh, you have that one shot or whatever, or you got to do that. Yeah. The truth of the matter is with anything, like, to succeed, you just got to do it.
It's a way of life, John, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for me, like, do you know what I mean? I'm obsessed over music, you know, at certain points in my life. I tend to obsess over a lot of things, to be honest with that. Yeah. But music is one thing I've stuck to since I was a kid, like, you know, and, you know, it's taken me some absolutely amazing places so far. Like, people talk about making it. You know, my expectations are, you know, I'm not as high as other people with it.
It is the foundation of the communities. I mean, we touched on the Jamaican community, the Welsh migrant industry, the black gospel singers in America, and I mean, you go to any continent, to any people, and they'll have their own musical style, which was born out of the people. And we have come to a point where it's been taken away from the people, and we've got the likes of Miley Cyrus swinging in on a wrecking ball. Yeah. And, you know, this is what is held up to be, this is how you are to make it. Swinging in on a wrecking ball, wearing absolutely next to nothing. The fashions that they promote through the music mediums. I mean, you look at these music channels and things. I watched some of the modern music. It's incredible. I mean, you've just got women that are being sexualized, wearing next to nothing, and the music is, it doesn't give you that feel-good, happy feeling. It's a different vibe, John. I mean, it's hard to pin down, really, for me.
When I was growing up, like, do you know what I mean? It was all the video games, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember first seeing MTV and, you know, being blown away by it, really, like, you know, things, you know, stuff I'm probably about 10, like when I first heard like Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana, and it changed the whole face of music really, like, you know, when I was only 10, like.
Yeah.
But like, you know, a few years later, like Radiohead released an album called Loki Computer as well, which sort of like, you know, the video age came on even more then, like, you know, towards the indie scene really. But as far as like, you know, sort of like music channels going, like they were amazing till about 2003. They were like MTV2 had quite a good slot there in the 90s and all that. Like VH1, absolutely fantastic program for music. I mean, even MTV as well. Like, you know, once they introduced like black music into it, because actually the first 6 years of MTV didn't have any black people on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point to bring up, John, and it's vital really, because again, the money men behind these mediums, that's what they're after. They're primarily after the money. So where you picked up where MTV first started in the video age, music was still very much a common thing then. I mean, the albums were concept albums, they were works of art. Now you're looking for a one-hit wonder, and
people are getting signed for like one song now.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you know, where you're talking like, you know, bands used to get signed for like 5 or 6 albums. Now people get signed for one song, and you know what I mean, if that song done too well, like, you know what I mean, you got to, you know, stop the band, everything, either drop from record company. And like some major bands out these days as well, that's happened to them. Like Elbow is a good example. Like, you know, they went from being on tour and all, I got dropped from record company, and they went on the dole. You know, they all came back to the dole after being on tour for like 7 years. Yeah. Then, you know, they took stock, you know, realised how good they were, and then they come back out with like Asleep in the Back, like, you know, which is an amazing album. If you want to listen to that. Elbow have been around for a long time, but they hit poverty. Do you know what I mean? You know, they didn't know how to do anything else. Like, they were just Elbow, and they got dropped from the record company.
Now, along with this is especially as now we find ourselves with this financial system imploding and the private interests are trying to strip everything from the communities. We find that a lot of artists are having their intellectual property stolen. This is highlighted in the case by a lady that's known by the name of Seven. I've only just come along and heard about her life and what happened to her, and it's absolutely total theft. I mean, they're taking people's ideas and basically stealing them and writing them out of everything. It's been depicted in quite a few high and low profile. I tell you what, we'll pick this up in a little while, John. Yeah. Why don't you play a little track, mate, for the listeners? And,
no problem.
Because it's all right. We're telling them, you know, where you're from, this, that, and the other. But let's give them a little listen and we'll pick up the other end. No problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Leyshon. Please sit back, relax, introduce the song, and that, John, if you want.
No problem. It's track's called Slow Motion Replay. It's basically about, like, you know, from my point of view anyway, you can take what you want from it really, but this is from the songwriter's point of view. It's about a slow time in my life really, you know, where I felt a bit stuck. The song has a good reflection for me, you know. I didn't intend the song to be about what it was about at the time, but now I play it like, you know what I mean, you know, it signified exactly what I was going through at the time, so I hope you like it.
nice, John. I hope I come through nice and clear, listener. Slow motion replay, John.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I must admit, I had a chance to swing into the Talbot not so long ago, and I was in the crowd for the jam night.
Fantastic.
I think that's where we picked up and started the concept of this.
Definitely.
This evening, and
it's a fantastic jam night. The Crowley Arms is a wonderful pub as well. Like, you know, run by a great landlord, you know, and he lets you know, for about 5 years or something like that. Like, there's been a jam there by a guy called Owen Davis, who's an inspiration to me. Like, you know, music wise. He's in the Bangkok Panic Station, who I've been watching since I was a kid, and just a fantastic guy. You know, he treats music like, you know, like it's naturally coming out of him. You know, there's a lot of people who struggle, you know, sort of with their musical sort of, like, you know, world. Owen never seems to struggle with anything really, because he's just chills with it. And on the jam night, he makes it very relaxed and stuff. Same with our jam night, you know, in the Bell. You know, we just try to, you know, get people, like, you know what I mean, it's a jam, there's no pressure, and it's to get people playing music really, like, you know what I mean, however good you are, it doesn't matter, like, you know what I mean. And this is where we get to it. It's a great social thing, isn't it? It's great for morale, it's great for spirit, and it bonds people. The individuality of everyone as a whole is the strength. Now, these private banksters and everyone who's trying to get everyone to conform to one style of music and this, that, and the other, they use the power of the crowd. I mean, if anyone wants to check out the influences of how a crowd can be manipulated, I point you to the Ash experiment, for one, off the top of the head. It's pronounced Ash. It's actually spelled ASCH, for anyone who'd like to check that out. But it basically shows how one person can be manipulated by as little as 3 or 4 people. Another one, which is rather funny, and I suggest to listeners, if they want a little giggle, to check this one out, because it cracked me when I seen it, is the elevator sketch from Candid Camera. I'll just leave it at that. But if you are, you know, if you was wondering how people can be influenced, by the crowd, then those 2 little experiments would do it. Another one is the blue eye, brown eye. That's very informative, and will certainly make you think. But before I stray off the subject matter too much, is that I was getting to the individual, how as a group of individual critical thinkers, that is where our strength lies. Now, these people who have manipulated certain things in society, trends, if you like. Yeah. This all goes all the way back to Edward Bernays. He's the father of propaganda. In fact, he changed the name from public relations to propaganda. But if you have a little look at his work, you can see how society has been manipulated through music, through news, and through other media. But again, there's plenty of other things I can go on about there. But I don't want to stray too much from the subject matter at hand. Still have another track, I think. John, I enjoyed that last one. This track's called When the Wind Blows.
After all this time, she seems fine, but she's not the same as before. Used to be so bright, now she's got no light. Losing is a game for us all, she says. Love to see him alive again. He was my best friend. I'd love to see him smile again. He was my best friend. After all the wakes he to see her alive again. She was my best friend. I'd love to see her smile again. She was my best friend. Oh, when the wind blows, she feels him again. Oh, when the wind blows, he feels her again. Oh, when the wind blows, we feel them again. Oh, when the wind blows, we feel them again. Oh, when the wind blows, we feel them again.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You see a scene of a sea.
Yeah.
It's just a sea and the waves are going back and forth. Like you can hear some seagulls in the distance. That's all you got, right? No music at all. All you gotta do is put du-du-du, which is a semitone up and down. Du-du, du-du, du-du-du-du-du-du. There's a shark in our water in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
a shark somewhere in that
Yeah.
sea. That's the effect, you know, the music can have straight away on you, is to say there's a shark in our water, no problem. There's definitely a shark in there because of our music.
There we go.
And it's only a semitone shift.
Yeah.
And, you know, why would they have a whole orchestra now, like of 81 or whatever, or you can have it probably of 81 with that. Like, whole orchestra, just doing a semitone, like easy, you know, do you know what I mean? Absolutely amazing musicians now, they can play everything again. They get them to do the easiest thing, and have the most effect, and with every instrument doing that semitone shift.
Can you imagine the vibration frequency from that as well?
Yeah. I've been one of these amphitheaters and things, like, you know, and, you know, just, no, nothing's plugged in or anything like that. I swear, the way it comes to you, is that will make you instantly emotional, like, you know, the effect of what that sound does on you.
Absolutely.
Festival music is a lot the same as well, how that vibration will get you.
Yeah.
Small venues as well with really good bands. You know, really good bands in small venues are like, you know, sort of like, you know, what I used to live for, like to be out and see these bands, you know, play in the garden, where the music really hits you, like the bass drum, the bass, and then like, you know, the singing was really good.
Just to go back to that scene of the beach, idyllic scene with a few seagulls floating, the waves whapping slowly, and then you come up with the Jaws theme music, and it does put you in a certain state of mind. Then on the flip side of the coin, you play Albatross, speak with Mark Leyson, and you blissfully feeling the breeze in your toes. I mean, you know, so this is what we try to break down this evening. You know, is how music is used and how powerful it actually is. It is. Well, it's almost magical, John. And peer pressure, as we spoke about earlier, if anyone wants to find out how easy it is to manipulate people through the group, just look at the Ash experiment. Or the blue eye, brown eye is a good one. I mean, you can clearly see how people can be manipulated by others. But we touched on that earlier. We won't go back there. So what do you fancy playing, John?
It's a nice summer tune of mine, like, you know, it's a bit happier. It's called Falling Off a Waterfall.
Influences behind it?
Everyone's behind it, so like just trying to write a happy tune. It's basically about going through life, really, you know, on a little boat.
Go on it.
down anymore. 'Cause all I ever do is rock back and forth. I'm pulling out for waterfall. Got the sand between my fingers. I'm pulling out for waterfall. Sorrows by thousand rivers. Sorrows by thousand rivers. The cracks in the floor open up even more. Singing to the vine before I get there, get there. Afraid to stand up on the rock mountain. I'm pulling out for waterfall. Got the sand between my fingers. I'm pulling out for waterfall. Sorrows by thousand rivers. Sorrows by thousand rivers, yeah. Thousand rivers. Thousand rivers. Thousand rivers.
Lovely.
Thank you for listening. Cheers.
Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play out now, right, with a track that Johnny uploaded earlier. You may have missed it at the beginning, and we've had his permission. We're going to use this as our intro. I mean, all the music that we're going to be airing on the show over the weeks and months and years ahead will be all from the people, grassroots level, you know. We're not looking at mainstream. We're alternative in everything we do, and we know how corrupt and vile the mainstream is, and we've given you an insight into that, into the topics we've discussed this evening, and I hope you follow up on them. But we've run out of time. I hope you all enjoyed. That was great. It was a lovely day.
Thank you very much, Darren.
You enjoyed the company, man.
Absolutely brilliant, mate.
So we're going to play you out on this and think about space, John.
Yeah.
T-minus 90 seconds to counting. All systems are go. About 9 seconds to launch a special start. T-minus 60 seconds to counting. Power at this time, discovery is not only on its fleet on board USOs. Coming up on those, we're all start. Discovering onboard computers all finally controlled, and all the vehicles critical electric signal. T-minus 17 seconds to count. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station paving the way for mission. Well,